Mr. Dillon. I now call upon Mr. Ed Power, Assistant Superintendent of the Western Avalon RC School Board, to address the gathering. Mr. Power.
Distinguished guests, parents, teachers, friends, graduates, 92-93 Dunn Memorial. It's a real pleasure for me to be here this evening and to bring greetings to you, the graduates, on behalf of the Superintendent of the Western Avalon Roman Catholic School Board, Mr. Nick Hurley, and also the other members of the staff at Western Avalon. I think Mrs. Brown has already put our thoughts in words in her congratulations to you for achieving 100% this year in graduating. And when you hear some of the honors and the distinctions and the overall marks that you've all received, I must say that it is indeed a pleasure to be here with you this evening and to join in your celebration. By now you know what it's like to exist in the real world. Most of you have moved from your home and moved away from your community and your families. And I think you will all agree that that is a bit scary in the first instance. But you very quickly become to realize that it's just a part of life and you have to accept that. As I listened to the announcement when you came forward to accept your diplomas, I noticed that there are so many of you working. And Mr. O'Brien was wondering, when he's sitting next to me, just where you were all finding the jobs. All around you, you see that times are rapidly changing. Competition for jobs is keen, to say the least. If you're following the federal election campaign over the last couple of weeks, you know that even the politicians are at a loss to know where we are heading and where the jobs are coming from for the future. Employment agencies predict that those graduating from high school this year will change professions at least several times in their lifetime. That's quite a difference if you talk to your parents and the generation that I'm a part of. If you had a job, you pretty well were guaranteed that it would last a lifetime. This will not happen out of choice, but out of necessity. The world today is a very competitive place. That is why I would encourage you and every one of you to continue your education to the maximum. Whether that is at university, community college, or in the various trades, is up to you as the individual. One economist summed up the situation rather well when he said, "We can't guarantee you a good job or any job if you have a good education, but we can pretty well guarantee you a bad job or no job if you don't." You all have talents and abilities. You have proven that by your presence here this evening. Strive to reach your maximum potential. Do not give in to discouragement. Even people in adverse circumstances can accomplish great things, which are seemingly beyond their reach. Adversity has a way of stimulating achievement. Throughout history, many of the great men and women were not always successful. For many, their accomplishments came not so much from their brilliance, but from their energy and persistence. For example, those of you who have studied biology should be familiar with Mendel's theory. You'll remember that he's the fellow who finally unlocked the secret of genetics. It's interesting to note that he failed his teacher's examination 3 times before he was successful. Then he carried on to teach the scientific community about heredity. A famous French philosopher once said that success depends on knowing how long it takes to succeed. And that is something I think you should all take with you. You cannot rush success, nor can you be discouraged by failure. Energy and persistence is something that is in reach of every one of us. Success is accessible to each of you if you use your gifts and do not turn your back on your potential. I encourage you to use your talents to the maximum, because success comes from using your talents and stretching your ability to the limit. So once again, I will say it's a great pleasure for me to be here with you this evening and to join in the activities and to have the opportunity to congratulate you as students, because somewhere along the way you had to work to be here. But I think there are 2 other groups that need being congratulated on this. And the first, I think, are your parents. Because being a parent, I know, as Mrs. Brown has already alluded to it, as a parent, you are called on to do the pushing a lot of times with students. And I'm sure when you look back, there are many times that your parents had to tell you to get out your study and get off the phone and so on and so forth. But you will see it all paid off. So hopefully you will take that, you will take the opportunity now, and you will move on. The other group that should be congratulated are the teachers at Dunn Academy. And again, when you look at the rate of the number of graduates here this evening, 100%, can you get any better? And we don't get these percentages unless there's a great effort. And I will tell you that in my number of years, and I sort of feel old here this evening, because when I look at some of the faces here, I remember you back in grade 4, grade 5 at St. Vincent's, and the primary school at Dunn Primary, and also here at Dunn Academy. So again, without saying anything else, I would like to once again congratulate you, congratulate your parents, congratulate your teachers at Dunn Academy, and ask you here at Dunn Academy to keep up the good work. And next year, I'm sure we will have 100%. And we all realize that what we see here this evening, this is the product of our work and our efforts. So once again, all the best for the future, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mr. Power. And now I'd like to call on Mrs. Pearl Cawley, our local school board representative, to address the graduates. Mrs. Cawley.
Reverend Father Power, Mr. Power, Mrs. Brown, Mr. O'Brien, Mrs. Yeckman, teachers, students, parents, invited guests, and friends. As your representative on the local school board, I would like to wish my sincerest congratulations to the graduates here tonight. You have reached an important milestone in your lives, and I say to you, this is just the beginning. You have a wide world out there awaiting new ideas. And you, the youth of today, will be the men and women of tomorrow. It is with regret that I will be no longer your local representative for St. Mary's School Board. For I feel that attending school in St. John's, I haven't the free time to give my attention as I would like to. I extend my grateful thanks to Mrs. Yekman and her staff for the wonderful cooperation they have given me over the years. And I would like to leave you with this saying: may the hand of a friend always be near you, and may the Lord fill your hearts with gladness to cheer you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Farley. I'd like to thank for your assistance in the ceremonies, Mr. Power, Father Power, Mrs. Brown, Mr. O'Brien, Mrs. Farley, Mrs. Yepman, and Mr. Davis. And thank you, graduates, as well. The speaker for this evening is Mr. Carl Bishop, who is an ex-graduate of Dunn Memorial Academy. Carl graduated from Dunn Memorial in 1984 with an honors diploma. He completed a Bachelor of Commerce cooperative degree at Memorial University in 1989. He is presently employed at Newfoundland Power's regional office in St. John's as a commercial services assistant, responsible for special projects and staff training. While at Dunn Memorial, Carl was involved in most sports and high school government, serving several terms on the student council. He was awarded the Electoral District of St. Mary's the Capes Scholarship in 1984, as well as the Reverend Barber Award for the student who best combined academic with athletic ability. Carl married Rhonda Finley this past summer and is currently living in the Goulds. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our guest speaker for this evening, Mr. Carl Bishop.
I thought I was going to have some company, but you guys all chickened out. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly honored to have been asked to say a few words to this year's graduating class at Dunn Memorial Academy. I noticed the theme words, or the words of your theme song, I should say, and Mr. Jetman provided me with the words of them last weekend, just to give me some thoughts to arrange my speech around, and I can honestly say I'm quite familiar with them. Paul mentioned I recently got married, and at the wedding, I think this was our wedding song. So I heard this about, 40 times between last fall and this past summer, so I'm quite familiar with the song. I noticed the decorations at the back. They have me sitting at the head table. To the graduates, I'd like to say it only gives you a sign of what you can accomplish. I started out just like you guys. I spent many an evening in the office here, but now I'm sitting at the head table with all these others sitting here. So don't give up, you just vote for everybody. Just to touch on what Leon said earlier, being a graduate of this school, I think I can appreciate the thoughts that he was talking about. I know what's going through the minds of the young men and women that have graduated here this evening. 9 years ago, when I sat on the stage up here with the rest of my classmates, I had a wide variety of emotions going through my head as well. You're happy to have finished high school, but sad about leaving a place where you spent so much of your lives. Whether you realize it or not right now, this building is a permanent reminder of memories to each and every one of you. I remember things like winning the zone basketball championship here in this gym for the very first time, joking with my friends in the hallways, or getting Mr. Davis going in the classroom. I think that's why he stayed so small. He gets enough exercise running up and down the classroom. God knows the number of times I picked up papers from the floor that flew off after he flew by. But the point that I really want to make to you is that Dunn Memorial holds a lot of special memories to all the people that have spent a lot of time here, and so it should. You graduates are the primary masters of your own destiny, but you should not forget the valuable contributions of those who helped you along the way. Your parents and teachers have spent countless hours preparing you for this night, and I'm sure they share the same feelings of accomplishment that you have. I noticed when Roy Yetman was singled out for his great achievement in math, scoring 100%, his father looking at a few people that were sitting near him and pointing to say, "Oh, I guess he got that for me." But Harry, you haven't given me my first job. I know you put me to work at the numbers, so I don't know if that meant you had much confidence in yourself. A lot of the things you learned here in school you did not get out of a book. Learning to read, how to write reports, and solving algebra problems may be useful tools in your future endeavors, but none are as important as those taught to you to be responsible adults. Through the experiences of school, some intended by design and others happening by chance, you have grown into young adults with the basic skills and knowledge you need to succeed on your own. Your learning process is not over. It will never be over. For example, I don't consider myself to be a stone young fellow. I'm not the smartest either, I realize that. But I can remember my first year of high school, I think I had to be one of the cockiest fellows that walked the corridors. And some of the things I would do, I'd find myself laughing at someone else's mistake. I couldn't understand, how come they would not know an answer that I knew. And one day a teacher came down and called me from the gym here. I was watching some inter-house sports during dinner hour, and brought me up to the classroom and sat me down. And basically told me, this is not how you do things. You have to respect the people that are around you, and you learn to expect respect back in return. I didn't realize I was being such a pain to other people, but what that teacher said at that time opened my eyes. The experience had nothing to do with science or English. It was a lesson in human nature, and one that I still remember. You may not realize it now, but each one of you have gained similar knowledge by what your teachers and parents have shown to you over the years, and hopefully you're using it right now. I remember Mrs. Yetman saying to us in our last year of school here that we wouldn't have it as easy the following year in university, trade school, or at work. And God knows she was right. I guess you could say we were spoon-fed in high school in a lot of ways, but once we got to university, they took away the spoon. It was much like eating with your fingers at sometimes. You were that hard up for money, as someone mentioned earlier, or just the simple go to keep going. A lot of times it was discouraging, but you kept going. In one math class in my first year of university, the professor gave us back a midterm exam and said, "I'm really pleased with the results. 21 of 80 people have passed, and it's just unbelievable how good the marks are for that exam." I couldn't believe it. I looked at the woman, I didn't know if she was loony or she was being sarcastic. It turned out, I guess she was being sarcastic, and she was trying to drive the point home. The point that I want to make to you right now is that basically you finished your high school, and now the time begins for you to fend on your own. Just like your graduation song says, though mountains are many and meadows are few, your new experiences won't always be good ones, but the thing to remember is that nothing is so insurmountable to overcome if you really want to. The key ingredient is desire. If you want something bad enough, you'll get it. Terry Fox was a great Canadian hero that exemplified this quality. Through great odds and times when he felt his efforts were unappreciated, he continued to reach for a goal that he believed in. He never did give up. And each of you should similarly have a goal that you want to attain in life and strive to do what you can to achieve it. Some key things I'd like you to remember from my speech. Never give up on your dream to succeed. As Mr. Power said, energy and persistence is the key to achieving your goals. A story I know about two fellows applying for a job or at a job agency, they were being interviewed for their aptitude to see what they were good at. One fellow went into the office with the interviewer and returned and told the fellow that had been sitting next to him in the waiting room that his skills apparently had him cut out to be a pilot. The second fellow went into the office and he was having a hard time with the interviewer and he couldn't understand why he wasn't getting anywhere, so he abruptly jumped up and said, "I don't understand it. I'd like to cut wood for you. Why won't you let me cut wood?" And the interviewer said, "We don't need any woodcutters." "Well, how come you hired Buddy the pilot if you haven't got anybody to cut it?" This fellow was pretty dead set on getting his job. I don't know if he did. Another thing, do not worry about pleasing everybody else. Please yourself first. You're the ones that have to wake up every morning and look at yourselves in the mirror and be happy with what you're doing. So if you're not happy with the job you find in life or whatever you choose to do, you'll find that you have to make some drastic decisions. So the first thing to do is find something that you really want to do and like it. Find out what you're good at or have something that you have a keen interest in and do everything in your power to be good at it. If you fail at first, do not point elsewhere for blame. Look at yourself and determine if you really gave it your all. Then try it again. A movie recently released called Rudy details the story of this recent high school graduate that really wanted to go to Notre Dame College in the United States, which is renowned for its football program. He really wanted to play football for Notre Dame. And he was only a scrawny guy. He wasn't very big. He was smart. He applied to the school. He was turned down. Eventually, he got into the school. But still, he was scrawny. He looked up at these 6'2", 6'3" football players, and he didn't know if he stood a chance, but he kept at it and kept at it. He was named for the practice squad. And the practice squad is the fellows that the regular team members get to beat up on during the practices. So this fellow took his bruises for a couple of years. And finally, in his final year at the college, and in his final game, or the final game of the team for the season, he was named to the team. And he was able to lead his team out. You'll probably see the movie advertising now. And he led the team out, and he became an instant hero around the campus. And it wasn't for his football skills. I don't think he scored a point, and he may not even have played in the game, but he was with the team. And people honored him for being persistent in the goal that he wanted, and he did achieve it. So by showing grit and a profound desire to live his dream, he became a hero to his teammates and indeed the whole college. I realize this is a bit of a fairy tale story, although it's true, but the message itself that sends is real enough. Follow your dream until you accomplish it. Again, I'd like to thank you for the opportunity you provided for me to address you tonight. And on behalf of my wife, Rhonda, I'd like to wish all the graduates every success in all your future endeavors. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop. Mrs. Shirley Edmond, Principal of Drum Memorial Academy, will now address our gathering. Mrs. Edmond.
I will only keep you for 1 hour longer. Graduates, tonight I take great pride in congratulating you on the successful achievement of your high school diplomas. Your graduation tonight is a stepping stone from past hours of study and heavy moments of fun to a new and somewhat different life, filled with great challenges and responsibilities. Tonight, as you graduate from Dunn Memorial Academy, you leave behind all the old familiar ways of this school, and you set out on a new, unexplored road. I feel you are equipped with the basic tools necessary to make your way. However, I hope you realize that the high school diploma you receive tonight is only the first step. Training and learning should never end for you. Because of technology and competition,
Good jobs require lifelong learning. So my hope for you tonight is that you will continue to educate yourselves and choose careers that will excite and challenge the very best in each one of you. I wish you good luck in your future endeavors, and I hope that God will shower you with many blessings in your lifetime. In addition to bidding farewell to our graduates, this exercise also provides the opportunity to express appreciation and thanks to the many people who make this moment a memorable one for our graduates. To our distinguished guests who traveled the distance to share this evening with us, we extend our most sincere gratitude. To Mr. and Mrs. Power, Mr. and Mrs. Brown, Mr. O'Brien, and Mrs. Kiley, once again, I wish to say that we are honored to have such a strong representation from the Western Avalon Roman Catholic School Board. We are extremely happy that you could take time from your busy schedule to join our celebration tonight. Thank you to Mr. Carl Bishop for your inspiring and thoughtful address to the graduates. As I sat there, I found that it was extremely a rewarding experience to have you, Carl, as one of our ex-graduates address tonight's graduates. I'm sure all teachers present tonight are as proud of you as your mom is. Thank you, Carl. To Father Power, thank you for celebrating tonight's liturgy, and a big thank you from the graduates for all the liturgies you celebrated for this graduating group. To Mr. Dillon, to all the teachers, to the support staff, I cannot express in words the thanks I feel for the time and the effort that you have contributed to making this celebration a successful reality for our graduates tonight. For all who contributed by way of decorating, training the choir, supervising students for various projects, organizing Safe Bread, and for all the many chores and favors too numerous to mention, I thank you, and I appreciate your tremendous spirit of cooperation. To the many students who assisted by participating in this evening's beautiful choir, by helping with the decorating of this gym so artistically, or by assisting in the many other ways, again, which are too numerous to mention, I thank you. To the Ladies' Auxiliary, for their fine service in preparing and serving this lovely meal this evening, we offer our appreciation. Would you please join with me in a round of applause to show the ladies just how much we've appreciated their hard work. To all the parents, friends, parishioners, businesses, and organizations who contributed financially to our graduation and with such generosity, we offer our thanks and appreciation. The many scholarships, the banquet, the decorations, the Safe Bread exercises which will take place later tonight were all made possible only because of your generous donations. And finally, to all of you present here tonight, and especially to the parents of the graduates, your very presence is testimony of your interest in and support for our students. By joining us tonight, you have enhanced this function and made it all the more significant and memorable for all our graduates. I thank you very much for sharing your presence with us tonight. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, Mrs. Yepes. We have received some messages for our graduates that I would now like to deliver. The first message is for Wanda Fagan. It reads, Wanda, wish I could be there on this, your special day. I know you have worked very hard to graduate with your class. Love and best wishes, Dad, Northwest Territories. The second message is to Vicki Snook. It reads, "I would like to congratulate you on your big night. I'm sorry I cannot be at home to see how beautiful you are tonight. Have lots of fun, and I will see you soon. Love always, Nikki." The third message reads, "We would like to relay our sincerest congratulations to all graduates and staff at Dunn Memorial Academy. This message is from Sacred Heart Parish Council, St. Vincent's." And our final message reads, "Dear graduates, I am proud to convey my sincere congratulations to the graduating class of Dunn Memorial Academy on what is no doubt one of the most important days in your lives so far. You have put more than a decade of work into fulfilling this goal and have earned the right to take pride in your achievements. I sincerely regret that due to a previous commitment, it is impossible for me to be present at your graduation ceremonies this evening. But I am sure I will have an opportunity to personally congratulate many of you in the weeks and months ahead. As you prepare to leave high school and face a whole new set of opportunities and challenges, I want to wish you nothing but the best. You have received an excellent education from teachers who share their pride in your achievements this evening, and therefore I have no doubt that you are all well prepared for whatever may come your way tomorrow. Congratulations, Fabian Manning, MHA, St. Mary's the Capes." This exercise is now completed, and the Grand March will begin shortly. We ask the parents and guests to stand to the side of the dance area to view the Grand March of the graduates. You are welcome to stay to the dance that follows. Directly after the Grand March, the graduates will dance with their parents, and then there will be general dancing. Thank you. We hope you will enjoy the remainder of the evening.